I mean, as I've mentioned many times before, as Jen has mentioned many times before, being a free speech absolutist, um, people have the right to protest, despite what some may be saying, because corporate special interests are having a heavy hand in how all of this works. And so, Colin, again, I'm not sure what each of these are because I see there's like three of them down there at the bottom. Just kind of
Yeah, from left to right, it's the flag burning. These are all three from Status Quo, but the first is the flag burning. The second is police at that flag demonstration getting pretty mad at the protesters, and the third is when the police just sprayed everyone indiscriminately, including John Farina, our cameraman.
okay. And the Netanyahu clip, is that a long? That's a long clip. It's got a lot of stuff.
It's a let me see how long I made it. Yeah, it's about 3.5 minutes of some of the better bits I found.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were very excited.
Congress sure
Definitely.
was.
Yeah. Well, hey, cheering for your donors. That's what you're doing. Know your role. So there are those who have very strong opinions regarding protesting. I think it's ridiculous. And I would agree with David Hunter. I think the honeymoon period pretty much came to an end today. And we'll get to that shortly. But it is important that we recognize where a lot of this stems from. So again, as you all have probably been made aware and are following along closely, Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu spoke in front of the United States Congress yesterday. And obviously it was a love fest for the Israel lobby, which of course is not surprising. But there were a lot of people outside that were not too happy about it. And one of the things that ended up happening was flag burning, which again, a lot of people don't like to see, but it is part of our constitutional rights. It was declared by the Supreme Court protected speech. So here's our first clip.
Burn that shit! 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 Burn that shit!
This little Inferno playing in the background. Nice touch.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Yo, fuck the United States, you fucking white bitch! Fuck you, fascist! Get the fuck out of here, fascist!
Now that I approve of. Yeah. You know, when I see this, again, I love my country. I know how fortunate I am and have been. You know, my career has significantly turned around in the past year. I also understand why people hate this country. It's not that they hate the United States. It's the hate and justified hate for the people that are in control of the United States. And having the ability to display your free speech rights is what this country's all about. And anyone complaining is just wrong. We do have our esteemed fearless leader, Jen Perelman. I think that this is perfectly acceptable. I know that there are people who think that this is not okay for whatever reason. But I think a lot of that just has to do with decorum purposes. I don't think people necessarily are protesting it because or against it for a reason other than they don't like the way this looks. there's a decorum factor that plays a big role in politics that I think has become a very big problem, and why the powers that be have been able to get away with so much shit for so long. But I think that this display is very much necessary right now.
Yeah, well, I have no problem with flag burning. Never have. I don't have anything wrong with. I don't see anything wrong with this. You know, it would be better if instead of this, it was him being actually arrested. But I have no problem with flag burning. And I actually think that one of the things that is a problem is how brainwashed we are and propagandized from such a young age. It starts with the Pledge of Allegiance. For people who don't know, I actually I decided to stop saying it in the 3rd grade. I would get sent to the principal's office on a regular basis every once in a while if they would be annoyed that I wasn't saying it. I do not pledge. And Peter can tell you, he's been to enough events with me. I do not pledge. I don't put my hand over my heart. I don't pledge my allegiance, not to a flag, not to anything. So for me, I couldn't care less. But to a lot of people, we've spent many, many generations of nationalistic propagandized brainwashing to where people think that that actual flag stands for something bigger and has meaning. And it may be in theory, but our American empire is so far past that at this point that it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And at some point, when you look back on history, you realize, I don't think it ever did. I think it always stood for genocide, slavery, conquest, and empire. And so we are now in a time where people are not, you know, they're not wanting that. And I don't blame them. I've never been a fan of what people call patriotism. To me is very much just nationalism with a different name. And so I am all for flag burning. Other than I don't know what that's made out of, and I don't know that we want those fumes in the air, but yeah. And I have no problem with burning symbolisms of anybody. I don't have a problem with any of this.